So a priest, a veteran, and a bartender walk into a cemetery. Last Flag Flying stars Steve Carell, Bryan Cranston, and Laurence Fishburne as three veterans from the Vietnam War, all band together to help Doc, played by Steve Carell, bury his son who died in the Iraq War. There are good things and bad things to be said about this movie. I like what they were trying to do, but I don't really care too much about how it was made. It tries very hard to have a lot of dialogue and hence a lot of chemistry between people. I don't really think they had the greatest chemistry, but we'll get into that. First up is the people category, and we're looking at the acting, which, like I said, I think the acting was well done. I think these actors put into their roles all they could. 2 out of 2. The characters, on the other hand, aren't all that memorable. As an audience member, are you going to remember this movie for the characters over the actors? I don't think you will. 1. As much as I like these actors, and I do, I really like these actors, and I think they gave these roles their all, I don't think they were the right choice for the casting, specifically because you don't feel their chemistry. A big part of the movie is the chemistry, because there's so much dialogue and so much time spent with just these people talking to each other, reminiscing about old times. I didn't really feel like these were buddies. 1 out of 2 possible stars for casting and chemistry. Importance, I do believe that every person here played an important part. 2 out of 2. Writing score. Lots of dialogue. The movie relies heavily on what people are saying, how they're saying it, and how they're acting while they're saying it, and all these different things, and 2 out of 2 for that. Half points for the rest of this category. Balance, a lot of it has to do with burying his son, but a lot of it also has to do with getting these people together and focusing on their lives. Direction of the plot gets a little bit lost because it's focusing on that. 1 out of 2 for that. It's a good story, however, you're gonna feel a little bit lost why Stephen Carell's character needed the help of these people. Why? I don't get why he went to them in the first place. 1 out of 2 for story. Original, and when you have those movies that kind of feels aimless in some regards, those all feel the same. So, Originality gets 1 out of 2. Interesting, I didn't know that all these actors were going to be in this movie, and I was really excited when I learned that's who was in the movie. My interest did peak at that point, because the rest of the movie was just fine. So interest only gets 1 as well. BTS. Nothing exciting about the visuals. Nothing stands out there. It is pretty typical for that. I'm going to give 1 out of 2. Directing, I don't think it is anybody's fault that there was a lack of chemistry. I think the director did a very good job at displaying what he wanted the movie to look like. 2 out of 2 for director. Editing was fine. Nothing really stood out for that, so 1 out of 2. As advertised, 2 out of 2. Nothing stood out for music or sound in my opinion. Nothing I would want to listen to again. 1 out of 2. Narrative arc score. Introduction was fine. You get acquainted with all the 3 men and what they're doing in their lives up to this point. You're not entirely sure why they're banding together yet. Inciting Incident is when you find out why they're banding together, and that is ultimately when they learn that Doc's son has died in the Iraq War, and they decide to journey with him to bury that boy. This isn't an obstacle kind of movie. There is the main obstacle of burying the boy, but for the most part, they aren't really stopped by a lot of different things that are getting them to that point, like a funny road trip or something like that. It's just getting him to that point, for some reason, just takes forever. The rest of the movie is just trying to get you acquainted with these people, which was fine, but that's not an obstacle. 1 out of 2. There was a very clear climax, which was a culmination of everything in between. So 2 out of 2 for that. Falling action, yes, it does calm down, and it does return to a new norm of sorts, so I will give that full points and say 2 out of 2. Entertainment score, I gotta say before I go into the points here that I didn't really find this very entertaining. It was fine all around, but I wasn't super entertained. So when it comes down to rewatchable, I don't really care to rewatch it. If it was on TV, I'd probably find something else to watch. 0. Fun experience, my guess would just be the fact that these actors I like to watch. So only 1 out of 2 for that. Impulse to buy or own, like I said, I'm not going to rewatch it, so why would I buy it or own it? 0. impulse to talk about other than this review? No, there's honestly not a lot to talk about because it's just these guys talking throughout an entire movie. 0. Does it suck the audience in? There was never a moment in this movie that sucked me in. I'm sorry. 0. Specialty. Alright, on IMDb, this is listed as comedy, drama, and war. So let's look at those. Comedy. Was it a funny movie? In certain regards, it was, but it's not the kind of comedy that I connect with. For that, I will give half points and give it 5. As a drama, that's more like it. This is more of a drama movie. Drama gets 10 out of 10. This is one of those times where I say that war is the foundation of the movie, but it's not a war movie. 5 out of 10. ActorSpecific, how is this as a Steve Carell movie? There's no chance I'm going to be calling this one of Steve Carell's better movies. He does great though, so at least half points and say 5 out of 10. Finally, halfway decent. Did the filmmakers make the movie that they intended to make? I think so. For halfway decent, I gotta give it full points and say 10 out of 10. If we add all that together, we get 65 out of 100 points, 65%. It's decent, not the best movie in the world, but I'm glad that I watched it. Guys, tell me what you thought of The Last Flag Flying in the comments down below, and you can follow me on track.tv and Twitter at username IAMDWG, and as always, you can subscribe to me, hit that like button, and hit that bell to be notified when I come out with my next movie review, which will be tomorrow, and you don't want to miss that. So guys, thank you for tuning in, and come back tomorrow for my next movie review. Until then, peace out and have a good